I just got an email that said, Audrey, start preparing for your student loan repayment in September. Wrong email. No, I know nothing about that. That's for someone else. Wrong Audrey. Crazy, I know. But yeah, I don't know anything. I don't know anything.
So I went to college in 2016, and my freshman year, I had to take out a couple of loans so I could go to school, like most people do. After that, I worked multiple jobs so I wouldn't have to take out any more loans. In fact, by my senior year, I paid for the whole thing by myself. So the loans I'm talking about are the loans from 2016. My mom, being the kind, wonderful, amazing human being that she is, took on one of those loans for me. Like, she's been paying it. And she has been paying it every single month since I took it out in 2016. Keep in mind, it is now 2023. So we're talking 7 years later. She told me as of a couple of weeks ago that she still owes the same amount of money on that loan as she did in 2016. Can't even make a dent in it. This is an adult woman with an extremely stable job and a house. Can you imagine what student loans are doing to people fresh out of college trying to find their way and struggling with the rising cost of housing? Student loans are way more predatory than you can understand at 18, but they know that, and they want to keep you down.
Shut up, it is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
This is so disgusting. Original loan amount, $13,000. So far, I've paid almost $18,000 of it back. And I still have almost $7,000 left. So $25,000 on a $13,000 loan. It's disgusting.
I just found out some fucking bullshit about my student loans that I would like to share with other people who may not know. I started working for a nonprofit last year, so I submitted the form for public service loan forgiveness to tell them, hey, I'm working for a qualified employer, start counting my payments towards the 10 years of payments in order to get the rest forgiven at the end. So I did that. I've been making payments every month for the last year. We're hundreds of dollars of payments a month, not like $10. I've been dutifully paying my loans, even though interest has not been accruing, just like everyone has been telling us to do, right? I've been doing that. And I just found out that because the loans are in the COVID forbearance still, none of the payments I've been making actually count towards the 120 payments you need to make before you get your loans forgiven. So even though I've been taking advantage of the no interest and dutifully making payments on my loans like everyone has been telling us to do, I'm still getting punished for it. And that's some fucking bullshit.
Hey, are you even paying attention to
Does government just think we're going to go back to paying student loan payments? Like what? It's going to ruin my...
When I graduated school over 10 years ago, I was able to make one payment on my student loans and then I lost my job. I called up the bank and was like, hi, I'd like to put these loans on deferment, please. And they said, oh, you can't do that. And I said, why? So I called the financial aid office and I was like, hey, the fuck is going on? They looked into it and called me back and they were like, hey, so looks like your loans were not student loans. They were private loans. So yeah, no, you can't put these on deferment. Then why the fuck did I sign a bunch of paperwork saying I could put them on deferment? And the real kicker, the school was caught lying and frauding its students, and they no longer exist. You're tripping if you think I'm paying you back for that.
Are we not paying? And I'm not this is not a joking play like type of situation.
And that's what we're not going to do. We're not going to not pay our student loans back. And I'm going to tell you why with a personal anecdote. And you are going to listen because I don't make TikToks and I'm just here to try to save a fucking life. All right? Because this literally ruined mine. Okay? So flashback. It's the year 2014. All right? I'm a newly single mom. I'm making about $40,000 a year. I do not get child support. So it's all on me. I was on a student loan repayment program for about $100 a month. 1 month it actually came down to the decision of, do I feed my kids this month? Or do I make that student loan payment? I chose to feed my kids that month, as any mother would do, all right? The next month, the federal government started garnishing my wages by 50%. 50 off the dome, the gross, okay? What does that mean? That means that my garnishment was coming out of my check, just like your federal taxes, your state taxes, your Social Security, your Medicare, health insurance. It was coming out before it ever hit my bank. I wasn't making a payment. For a year, I went through this correction period where they garnished 50% of my wages. We're talking utilities cut off, eviction notices, a life I don't even want to describe here, and one that I'm very happy that I overcame. Okay? Alive. Don't know how I did it. They have also garnished every single tax return that I have had since 2013. All right? So let's do some math. I took out $11,000 in student loans. I have paid back $62,000. And I still owe $9,000. 9. So I'm just as mad as you are. Trust me, baby. I'm just as mad as you are. But one thing we are not going to do is not pay our student loans.
Right now, when these loans come back, guys, all of these service providers are going to try to convince you to do an income-based repayment plan. They're going to say, oh, it's going to be tough for you to make this payment. Do a lower payment. And some of these payment plans that they're proposing are 5% of your discretionary income. That's nothing.
Yep.
And what,
may not even cover the interest.
That doesn't, thank you, Rachel. It barely even covers the interest. And so what happens is, and you see it all the time, people complain and they go, wait a second, I've been making these payments, but somehow my bill keeps going up. Somehow the balance keeps going up. This thing is rigged. This thing is jacked. And I'm like, no, you're on an income-based plan. And if you're not attacking at least all of the interest and getting some towards the principal, it will never go down. And I don't say that to be hopeless. I say that to say, you pay as much as you can pay, not as little as you can pay. And if you want more information about that, go check out our documentary, Borrowed Future. That's where we're really uncovering what's going on with these student loans. And guys, don't wait. Start being proactive. Look at this stuff now. See what your payment's going to be. Look at your budget. See if you have the money. And don't bury your head in the sand. When it comes to your money, ignorance is not bliss. It's broke. Do not bury your head in the sand on this.
Afternoon. What can I do for you?
I need to buy a gun. So you're telling me that because the United States federal government of financial aid, whatever, decided to move my student loans from Great Lakes to Nelnet and then be like, JK, we're sticking with Great Lakes, and be like, JK, we're moving to Nelnet, that my credit score, the BS that is a credit score, my credit age is now going down significantly, is being cut in half because y'all decided to move my student loans to a different servicer when it wasn't my choice?
Everybody's saying they need peace, they need love, they need happiness. Bitch, I need 30 bands right fucking now. Like the person ever.
Miss Rabbit has fainted. Miss Rabbit has fainted again.
Dr. Hawk, tell me how much student loan debt you graduated with.
Oh, good morning. Oh, thanks. Student debt. So I had a little bit left over from college, but you know, the bulk of it is from med school. So I think I've got a cool $280K racked up that I owe the government right now. So
78,000.
Student loan. You mean me or my dad? Actually, I don't have any loan because I graduated from Pakistan medical school, and medical school is very, very affordable and less expensive than here. So my dad probably has some loan, but I never had any.
Little student debt reveal before we start.
Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Yeah. Come on, Barbie, let's go party.
Reveal now for 100K followers, so thank you for following. I also don't know how much debt I'm in because I'd rather not know, so now we're gonna find out together. All right, we are logging in. I'm gonna look at my... I am in debt. To be specific, if you want to know how much debt... So that's crazy. Like, I don't think I should eat anymore. Like, I shouldn't have eaten since 9 months ago when school started, to be honest with you. I have decided now I am looking actively for a husband, one that is selfless, handsome, and has good personality. How many years is that gonna take to pay back? Probably a lot. Thank you for watching.
I've got a $46,000 HECS debt, and articles like this are pissing me off. So rather than getting upset, let's just do a little degree haul and see what I got for $46,000. Now kids, something they won't tell you is that there are many degrees which will cost you more than just the piece of paper itself. Now my degree should have cost me around $26,000. So how did I end up with nearly $46,000 in debt? I did a degree in the sciences, and that meant a lot of overseas opportunities, a lot of volunteering, I suppose, opportunities. And these were all just to gain experience. One of those opportunities was going to Borneo and Brunei for 3 weeks with one of our botanist professors, and it was incredible in terms of networking, gaining skills. Like, it was just overall one of the best experiences I've ever had. So I did take a loan out for this one, and the maximum you could take out was $8,149. I don't think the trip cost me that much. I'm going to be completely honest. I think I stashed whatever was left over in my savings, but that was likely due to the fact that I was so broke, I had to stash it in my savings for like a rainy day. Now, I worked the entire way through uni, yet I still needed money. So every semester I was able to access a student startup loan. I think I was able to get $1,100 a semester, and I did take every single one out because I genuinely needed that money for things like car registration, car insurance, rent, random bills that would come out of bumfuck nowhere. I would take out the loan for those reasons. So I did end up with $9,000 in student startup loans at the end of my degree. Now, I'm not discounting uni at all, even though my HECS debt is $46,000, so it's $20,000 more than I ever intended it for it to be. This piece of paper right here has given me opportunities that I could never get without it. Opportunities like this. My first grad job was as an ecologist, and one of the things we got to do was do water sampling in the wet seasons in the north via helicopter. Again, could never get this job without that piece of paper. There's so money can't buy you friends. Bullshit. $46,000 did buy me an incredible friend group. But what I mean by that is that you go to uni to specialize in a specific area that you're interested in. And that allows you to meet people who have the same interests as you, therefore creating amazing bonds and amazing friendships. So I have an amazing friend circle of people that I still love to this day, that I would have met without uni. I've never once seen an article warning people that uni will probably cost you more depending on what degree you end up doing. So in my example, the sciences. In the sciences, there are so many opportunities to go overseas to study even within Australia that cost more. But they will print shit like this. Shit that only kids with wealthy parents can actually apply to their debts. I'm glad I went to uni. I'm glad I've got the debt. Don't get me wrong. But this shit is dumb. Instead of asking us to just pay down our debt by June 1st, why don't you go back to the politicians and do a little bit more arguing to get these indexation rules changed? I'm not saying wipe my debt. I'm saying just help me pay it off. Because this year, only 1/3 of my payments are actually going to pay off my HECS debt, and the rest are just going to pay off what I got indexed.
I never thought I'd say this, but I think I like Joe Biden. Like, the dude's kind of a gangster.
You know, these Republican officials just couldn't bear the thought of providing relief for working class, middle class Americans. At the same time, think about this. We all supported the Paycheck Protection Program, remember? PPP? You know, which was designed to help business owners who lost money because of the pandemic. It was a worthy program. But let's be clear. Some of the same elected Republicans, members of Congress who strongly opposed getting release to students, got hundreds of thousands of dollars themselves in relief. Members of Congress.
Translation. Bitch, the fuck you thought? Why the hell would we let Republican Congress members like Marjorie Taylor Greene write checks to themselves for fake-ass construction companies, but we can't cover $10K in student loans for a high school teacher?
Several members of Congress got over $1 million. All those loans are forgiven. Now a kid making $60,000 trying to pay back his bills, asking for $10,000 in relief? Come on.
This is a good time to remind you that the PPP program actually costs double what Biden was proposing for student loan forgiveness, and his program would have helped 40 million Americans. Not to mention, probably half of that money that went out to people like Marjorie Taylor Greene was probably fraudulent, and we know this because the FBI, towards the end of the pandemic, started investigating where the fuck the money went, and then Trump was like, nah, I gotta hide this shit, it's gonna make me look bad for re-election, so got rid of all the PPP protection flags meant to identify people that weren't needing the money. Like, you must be out your goddamn mind if you're more worried about teachers and social workers getting a couple extra $100 to cover their student loans over the course of 5 years versus this child trafficker writing a check to himself for $500,000 just so he can cash app high school girls for sex. And if you think, oh, but he was acquitted, check the fucking date. Because there's a reason why they quietly reopened this case. Because it's fucking embarrassing, again, to have a Congress member cash app high school girls for sex.